Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh to everyone and my lecturer Puan Azamurni binti Mohtar. Our group will present Green Technology Compliance DUG 30023. My name is Nur Azianny binti Deni and my matrix number is 03DPR20F1043. Our title is Implementation of Green Economy. What is a green economy? A green economy is one that strives to reduce environmental threat and ecological scarcity while still pursuing long-term sustainability that does not degrade the ecosystem. It is closely related to ecological economics, but with a more politically applied focus. Jadi, ekonomi hijau adalah ekonomi yang berusaha untuk mengurangkan ancaman alam sekitar dan kekurangan ekologi sambil masih meneruskan kelestarian jangka panjang yang tidak merosakkan ekosistem. Ini berkait rapat dengan ekonomi ekologi tetapi fokus yang lebih diterapkan secara politik. Seterusnya, next, a green economy according to the UNEP Green Economy Report is an economy that produces better human well-being and social equity while significantly increasing environmental and ecological scarcity. The green economy can be defined as an economic paradigm that promotes growth, income, and employment while preserving ecosystem resources and natural biodiversity. The green economy prioritizes economic development that can protect natural resources, increase resources, and use them in a sustainable manner. The emphasis on natural resources for green growth and long-term prosperity is a key feature of the green economy. Ini bermaksud dengan menurut laporan ekonomi hijau UNEP adalah ekonomi yang menghasilkan kesejahteraan manusia dan equity sosial yang lebih baik sambil meningkatkan kekurangan alam sekitar dan ekologi. Ekonomi hijau dapat didefinisikan sebagai paradigma ekonomi yang mendorong tumbuhan, pendapatan dan pekerjaan sambil memelihara sumber daya ekosistem. Ekonomi hijau mengutamakan pembangunan ekonomi yang dapat melindungi sumber semula jadi, menambah sumber daya dan menggunakannya secara lestari. Penekanan pada sumber semula jadi untuk pertumbuhan hijau dan kemakmuran jangka panjang adalah ciri utama ekonomi. Next, concept of green economy. A low-carbon economy is a part of green economy that is determined by the amount of carbon produced by economic activity. Green growth refers to GDP growth that is influenced by environmental factors as well as an emphasis on green industry as new source of growth. Green job, also known as green collar job. Ecological economy, an economy that is driven by ecological value and carrying and make use of ecological function to benefit both to the company and the environment. Maksud konsep ekonomi di sini adalah ekonomi yang rendah karbon adalah sebahagian daripada ekonomi hijau yang ditentukan oleh jumlah karbon yang dihasilkan oleh aktiviti ekonomi. Pertumbuhan hijau merujuk kepada pertumbuhan KDNK yang dipengaruhi oleh faktor persekitaran serta penekanan pada industri hijau sebagai sumber pertumbuhan baru. Pekerjaan hijau juga dikenali sebagai pekerjaan kolah hijau. Ekologi ekonomi. Ekonomi didorong oleh nilai-nilai ekologi dan menggunakan fungsi ekologi untuk memberi manfaat ekonomi dan alam sekitar. Next, implementation of green economy. Green economy development. Traditional economy development is concerned with increasing output of goods and service. Exportation and production are critical for generating local income. As a result, much of traditional economy development strategy revolves around establishing a export base. Traditional economic development strategy are adapted in a green economy to build business that improve environmental outcomes. Green economy development bermaksud pembangunan ekonomi hijau. Pembangunan ekonomi tradisional berkaitan dengan peningkatan pengeluaran barang dan perkhidmatan. Ekspor dan pengeluaran sangat penting untuk menjana pendapatan tempatan. Strategi pembangunan ekonomi tradisional disesuaikan dalam ekonomi hijau untuk membina perniagaan yang meningkatkan hasil persekitaran. Next, resource efficiency and green purchasing. There are additional, often more effective methods for building green local economy in addition to green economic development strategy that increase production and supply. Resource efficient and green purchasing are two broad strategies for addressing the green economy's consumption side, harnessing community purchasing power and demand for energy, water and green products. Ini bermaksud kecekapan sumber dan pembelian hijau. Terdapat kaedah tambahan yang sering kali lebih berkesan untuk pembangunan ekonomi tempatan hijau selain strategi pembangunan ekonomi hijau yang meningkatkan pengeluaran dan penawaran. Kecekapan sumber dan pembelian hijau adalah dua strategi yang luas untuk menangani sisi penggunaan ekonomi hijau. Next, local production and utilization. Producing and consuming locally increase community wealth, regional self-reliance and economic security, and eliminates the environmental impacts associated with long distance transportation of goods. The positive effect of local expenditure spread throughout entire local economy as a result of the multiplier effect. The local economic change were as follows. Number 1, benefactors create jobs by producing goods in a community. Number 2, on-site jobs and income are created by distributing and installing the goods. Number 3, additional jobs and economic activity are created by supplying goods and service to people in the primary green activity. Ini bermaksud pengeluaran dan penggunaan dapat meningkatkan keuntungan ekonomi. Negara dapat berdikari sendiri tanpa bantuan negara lain dan dapat meningkatkan keselamatan ekonomi. Oleh itu, dapat mengurangkan input daripada luar negara dan rantaian ekonomi berfungsi seperti berikut. Nombor 1, penghilangan pekerjaan dengan menghasilkan barang dalam komuniti. Nombor 2, pekerjaan dan pendapatan di lokasi dihasilkan dengan mengedarkan barang. Ketiga, pekerjaan tambahan dan aktiviti ekonomi diciptakan dengan membekalkan barang dan perkhidmatan kepada orang dalam aktiviti hijau utama.
In the past, we based economic development on exploiting natural resources. We use the natural wealth we all depend on, but only deliver the greatest benefits to a few. Countries around the world recognize this failure. They are now developing new approaches that decouple economic growth from environmental degradation to improve people's lives while also maintaining a healthy environment. In the green economy, generating income and protecting the environment go hand in hand. Investments in energy efficiency, for example, save money, reduce harmful emissions, and create more jobs. Countries become less dependent on energy imports. Less air pollution means people are healthier, happier, and medical costs are reduced. At the same time, productivity increases. Functioning ecosystems fuel economic activities like agriculture, forestry, fisheries, and tourism. At the Vilnius Summit in 2013, the European Union and its Eastern Partnership countries committed to the transition towards a green economy. Armenia, Azerbaijan, Belarus, Georgia, Moldova, and Ukraine joined the Greening Economies in the Eastern Neighborhood Program, which assisted their journey to sustainability.
Dalam video tadi adalah menerangkan tentang pembangunan ekonomi berdasarkan pemanfaatan sumber semula jadi. Manusia menggunakan kekayaan sumber semula jadi yang kita semua hasilkan tetapi memberi faedah hanya kepada sebilangan yang kecil. Negara-negara di seluruh dunia menyedari kegagalan ini. Mereka kini sedang mengembangkan pendekatan baru untuk memisahkan pertumbuhan ekonomi dari kemerosotan alam sekitar untuk memperbaiki kehidupan orang ramai sambil menjaga persekitaran yang sihat dalam ekonomi hijau, menjana pendapatan dan melindungi persekitaran berjalan beriringi pelaburan dalam kecekapan tenaga, misalnya menjimatkan wang, mengurangkan kesan berbahaya dan mewujudkan lebih banyak pekerjaan daerah seperti dalam video yang saya terangkan dalam Implementation of Green Economy. Seterusnya, pada tahun 2013, Kesatuan Eropah dan negara-negara perkongsiannya berusaha untuk peralihan ke arah ekonomi hijau.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Ummul Salmi binti Ibrahim. My metric number is 03DPR20F1046. Today I will continue presenting implementation of green economy. Waste stream management. Local government are creating jobs and lowering the cost of doing business by lowering the cost and negative externalities associated with waste disposal. Many local governments have aggressive solid waste management program in place. For example, Hawaii County has declared its intention to develop a zero waste future. To achieve this goal, innovative technologies will be needed to reduce the waste stream, increase recycling rate, and convert waste to energy without relying on incineration. Next is green infrastructure. Decisions about land use have a significant impact on resources use, environmental quality, and economic activity. As a result, local government now have powerful tools for influencing the green economy thanks to planning and zoning authority. Local government can improve the quality of life for local residents and the business environment by encouraging smart, coherent land use decision. Kerajaan tempatan mencipta pekerjaan dan menurunkan kos menjalankan perniagaan dengan menurunkan kos dan luaran negatif yang berkaitan dengan pembuangan sampah. Banyak kerajaan tempatan mempunyai program pengurusan sisa yang agresif. Contohnya, Hawaii County telah menyatakan hasratnya untuk mengembangkan masa depan tanpa sisa. Untuk mencapai tujuan ini, teknologi inovatif akan diperlukan untuk mengurangkan aliran sampah, meningkatkan kadar kita semula dan menukar pembaziran tenaga tanpa bergantung pada pembakaran. Prasarana hijau mengenai penggunaan tanah mempunyai kesan yang signifikan terhadap penggunaan sumber daya, kualiti alam sekitar dan kegiatan ekonomi. Next is sustainable consumption and production. Sustainable production and consumption are defined as the production and use of goods and services that are socially beneficial, economically viable, and environmentally friendly throughout their entire life cycle. The journal goals is to be premier venue for publishing high-quality interdisciplinary papers on research and practice in these emerging fields. It examines the interaction between technology, consumption, and policy in a novel way to aid in the identification of more sustainable solutions for both production and consumption systems. Papers from engineers, natural and social scientists, and philosophers are encouraged, with a special emphasis on those at the interface of this discipline. The journal publishes original research, perspective, short communication, policy papers, and review papers. All papers should include some life cycle thinking element and clearly demonstrate that they are addressing topics related to sustainable production and consumption. It should be noted that papers on end-of-pipe treatment technologies are not covered. The areas and topics covered by the journal include but are not limited to. There are 3 topics covered by the journal, include but are not limited to is concept and approaches, tools and sector. In concept and approaches, they have clean technology, circular economy, eco-efficiency, ecosystem service, and industrial ecology. In tools, they have economic measure and instrument, life cycle assessment, sustainability indicators, system optimization, carbon and water footprinting. Next is in sector. In sector have chemicals, energy, financial, food and health. Next is show that sustainable consumption and production process. And here is the video show about sustainable consumption and production.
This is Sustainable Development Goal 12. Ensure sustainable consumption and production patterns. This goal is vital as we work to increase access and standards of living while creating a more sustainable world. Right now, we face many issues regarding this topic. From 2000 to 2010, total domestic material consumption rose from 58.7 billion tons to 71 billion tons. This represents a problem because some of this increase is from rising use of natural resources. As we strive for sustainable development and economic growth, it is important we decrease our use of natural resources and minimize generated waste and pollutants. Changing our consumption and production patterns also directly affects people, not just the environment. Did you know 1.3 billion tons of food goes to waste every year? While 1 billion people go hungry, and another 1 billion undernourished. There are 11 targets for SDG 12. They range in purpose and scope to break down the main goal into its most basic parts. For example, one target aims to achieve sustainable management and efficient use of natural resources like timber, oil, and water. Another target is directed more education to make sure this is all possible. It reads, by 2030, ensure that people everywhere have the relevant information and awareness for sustainable development and lifestyles in harmony with nature. In Papua, they discovered various uses for a pepper, such as an organic pesticide. And this, along with homemade fertilizers, they now have good enough soil quality to grow more crops. Selling their crops has given them an income, which was incredibly difficult before because they would have to travel by foot very far to sell rubber and always risk being cheated or taken advantage of. Now they're producing their own crops in a sustainable way, with the use of natural growth aids cutting down consumption in multiple ways. Almost all member states of the United Nations are party to at least one multilateral environmental agreement. Some of these conventions require states to report data and information related to hazardous waste, persistent organic pollutants, or ozone-depleting substances. The problem is that not all states are providing this information. Some key conventions that help keep SDG 12 and others on track are the Basel Convention on the Control of Transboundary Movements of Hazardous Waste and Their Disposal, and the Stockholm Convention on Persistent Organic Pollutants. But we need to make sure that more states are implementing actionable steps, and more importantly, committing to them. Thank you for watching. This has been Nonviolence International New York. To learn more about the SDGs or see related content, check out our other videos. And don't forget to subscribe.
The conclusion from the video is, this goal is vital in working to decrease the world use of natural resources and minimize generate waste and pollutant.
My name is Nur Azianny. I will continue this presentation with green procurement. Green procurement refers to the use of the environmental responsible practice in business activity that meet the needs of material utilities, goods and services. Along with a commitment to social responsibility and good corporate citizenship, the approach is one component of sustainable procurement. Companies may make individual purchasing decisions with an eye toward the environmental impacts, positive public relations benefit the action may bring. Green procurement on the other hand is continuous commitment to start to finish process management with environmental impact in mind. Perolahan hijau merujuk kepada penggunaan amalan bertanggungjawab terhadap alam sekitar. Ia bermaksud syarikat boleh membuat keputusan pembelian secara individu dengan melihat kesan terhadap persekitaran, menyedari manfaat hubungan masyarakat yang positif yang dapat diambil oleh tindakan mereka. Perolahan hijau juga memberi komitmen berterusan untuk penerusan proses dari awal hingga akhir. Green procurement takes into account the entire product life cycle, including the environmental impact of products, operation, maintenance, and disposal. Similarly to product selection, service provided by choosing with environmental concern in mind, including a commitment to using less harmful or environmentally friendly products and practice to provide their service. Green procurement and supply chain sustainability necessitated coordination and collaboration with internal and external supply chain partners to reconsider delivery method, product packaging, and measurement system. Perolahan hijau memperhitungkan keseluruhan mengenai kitaran hidup produk, termasuklah kesan persekitaran terhadap pengeluaran operasi dan penyelenggaraan serta purposan. Penyediaan produk meliputi kepertahanan terhadap alam sekitar, termasuk komitmen menggunakan produk dan amalan kurang berbahaya atau mesra alam untuk menyediakan perkhidmatan. Kelestarian perolehan dan rantaian bekalan hidup dengan rakan bekalan dalaman. Eco-labeling is a voluntary method of certifying and labeling environmental performance that is used all over the world within a given group, and the eco-label distinguishes goods or services that have been shown to be environmentally preferable. Unlike provided arbitrary green symbol or claims, chain members provide credible labels certified by an impartial third party for product and service that have been independently determined to meet transparent environmental leadership criteria based on life cycle considerations. Product or service indicated that it has been certified against a scientific standard. Although requirement and product category vary, all standards address the variety of environmental and healthy concerns such as toxicity, air quality, energy and water use, recyclability, natural resources use, and others area concern. Ahli jan eco-label pada produk atau perkhidmatan menunjukkan bahawa ia telah diperakui oleh standard saintifik. Walaupun keperluan dan kategori produk berbeza, tetapi semua piawai menangani masalah alam sekitar dan kesihatan seperti keracunan, kualiti udara, penggunaan tenaga dan kita semula, penggunaan semula jadi dan bidang lain menjadi perhatian. So for the conclusions, green economy is the need of the hours and is very essential and helpful for our present and our future generations. If we follow the parameter of green economy strictly, then we can enjoy a better lifestyle and improve our living standard. Green growth in all fields lead to a green economy, which later lead to sustainable development, thus helping in the overall growth and development of the environmental. Ekonomi hijau adalah keperluan masa dan sangat penting serta bermanfaat untuk masa kini dan generasi akan datang. Sekiranya kita mengikuti parameter ekonomi hijau dengan ketat, maka kita dapat menikmati kehidupan dan gaya hidup yang lebih baik dan meningkatkan taraf hidup kita. Pertumbuhan hijau di dalam semua bidang membawa kepada ekonomi hijau yang kemudiannya membawa kepada pembangunan lestari sehingga membantu pertumbuhan dan perkembangan keseluruhan masyarakat dan persekitaran.
From Rio's Earth Summit in 1992 to Rio Plus 20,
and new hurdles on the path to fair and sustainable global development. Today, 1.5 billion more people are using and abusing the environment. Governments are reeling from the global economic crisis, and the gap between rich and poor is getting wider. If we continue our wasteful ways, by 2050, almost 4 billion people will live in areas experiencing severe water stress. The world, largely China and India, will need 80% more energy, most of it based on fossil fuels. Greenhouse gas emissions will remain stable in OECD countries and Russia, more than double in the rapidly growing BRICS, and rise in the rest of the world, increasing globally over 50%, pushing the Earth's temperatures up 3 to 6 degrees Celsius by the end of the century. Farming, sprawling cities, logging, and climate change could reduce biodiversity and mature forests by another 10%. Air pollution, particulates, ground-level ozone, and unhealthy indoor air will be the top environmental cause of early deaths worldwide, with the rate tripling to 3.6 million per year. In other words, current growth patterns are not sustainable. There's only one way forward: going green to boost global economic growth. The OECD has a range of tools to help, including indicators to measure progress. Pricing natural resources and making pollution more costly are key to solving economic, social, and environmental concerns. For governments, carbon taxes and auction permits could raise $250 billion per year by 2020. And removing subsidies to fossil fuel production and use would reduce emissions and free up funds to improve education and healthcare. Aid from donor countries, more than $5 billion every year for environmental protection. With technology transfer, trade, and investment, and more financial support can give all countries a fair chance to grow green. For private businesses, green investments can improve the balance sheets and the environment. At Rio Plus 20, governments must make good on their promise of greener, more sustainable, equitable growth.
We want an economy, we want a society, we want an environment which will make sure that the future generations will have this planet to enjoy.